Hi, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Daily's Dose. I'm Gianna Ortner-Findlay, and I'm also the managing editor of the North Texas Daily.
Hi, everybody. My name is Aiden Gonzalez, and I'm the digital editor for the North Texas Daily.
And we're your hosts that do the most. So I guess we'll just go ahead and dive right in. So last week we discussed the Oscars, Aiden,
Mm-hmm.
and we have some thoughts.
We do.
So just to give y'all a quick refresher for the Daily's picks, we'll go ahead and do the Daily's picks and then who actually won on Sunday. So for the Daily's picks, for actor in a supporting role, we picked Kieran Culkin.
Okay.
And guess who actually won?
Were we right?
We were actually
we
correct.
did
Kieran
that.
Culkin, yes. So, and then for actress in a supporting role, this one was a little bit of a toss-up between the two of us, because I thought that Zoe Saldana had it, and you wanted Miss Ponytail. Miss
I
Girl.
wanted Ariana Grande to win.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as you said last week, I'm always correct. So Zoe Saldana won actress in a supporting role.
Yeah.
And then for the next category, animated feature film, we were really rooting for The Wild Robot.
We were.
I was so behind The Wild Robot.
Mm-hmm.
And a film that actually, if I remember correctly, doesn't have any dialogue or minimal dialogue, won. It's called Flow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then for animated short, we both discussed that we hadn't seen any of them. So we were going it based off of what we thought sounded interesting.
Yep.
And the one that sounded cool to us was Magic Candies. And that was not what won. It was In the Shadow of the Cypress, which I feel like I should probably go see because it won an Oscar. So
yeah.
The next category is cinematography. From what I remember, we said that Dune Part 2 or The Brutalist had that category because The Brutalist, for me, won some heavy hitters at the previous award show. And the one that won for cinematography was The Brutalist at the Oscars.
I was rooting for Dune Part 2, low-key.
I know. They did. Hey, they swooped on some things, for sure. So we'll get you caught up. So the costume design, we were so rooting for Wicked. We put a lot of categories as Wicked being the winner, and unfortunately we were not correct on some of them. But that is not the case when it comes to costume design, because Wicked did win the Oscar for costume design.
Period.
And the costume designer became, I believe, the first Black man to ever win an Oscar in costume design.
It's going down in history.
Absolutely. It's extremely historical. And then the next category, we've got directing. You said you wanted to trust me on this, and it is so good that you did, because
Period.
I guessed that Honora was going to win, and Honora did win for directing. So the director went ahead and claimed that on that guy. And then for documentary feature film, we were between Black Spock Diaries and No Other Land. We've both seen Black Box Diaries. Yeah. I've seen No Other Land. It was kind of a toss-up between the two for us. So I'm not mad at all that the one that did win the documentary feature film award on Sunday was No Other Land.
Damn.
And then the next one, documentary short film, is another category that we hadn't seen any of the films.
We just picked up the vibes.
We just picked up a vibe that sounded good. Again, based off of title. We thought that Instruments of a Beating Heart sounded really cool. And that's not what won. So documentary short film, the one that actually won was The Only Girl in the Orchestra, which...
That's still a cool name, though.
It is still a cool name, yeah. So I feel like we should just go see it. And then also based off of in the next category, international feature film, based off of the previous nominations and the 13 Oscar noms that this film had gotten, Emilia Perez, we thought that they were just a shoo-in for it.
Yeah.
However, at the actual Oscars, Brazil came in and won it with their film I'm Still Here. So...
That's a little crazy. I've not heard this film.
I haven't either, but apparently it's pretty awesome because it won an Oscar. And then for makeup and hairstyling, we had pegged Wicked as a pretty strong contender because have you seen the makeup and hairstyling? And
Yeah, literally.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we wanted to do. But what actually won was the substance, which is really interesting because in these categories, when you're going into award show season, a lot of the categories that are normally locked up, they're locked up by dramas or comedies and stuff like that. You don't really normally see horror in a lot of these categories, and the substance was nominated for a lot. So that was a slight upset when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And I know on Sunday we were like texting back and forth. It was like our Super Bowl. Like
It was our Super Bowl, just going back and forth.
yeah, and so that one, so makeup and hairstyling went to the substance. For music original score, we really, really, really wanted Wicked to
This one,
win.
though, I don't know.
And as much as I like The Brutalist, I wasn't sure I agreed with the music original
I
score.
don't
The
agree with this hot
Brutalist.
topic. No.
Yeah, because I mean, it's normally not known for its music, these drama type films. And so to have a musical essentially just lose out on all of the music awards
Mm-hmm.
was pretty crazy and not something that we were expecting at all.
Nope.
And so basically moving into music, the award for original song, we thought, or you thought that one of the Amelia Perez nominations definitely was going to win. Simply because there were two of them, which is not something we normally see.
Yeah.
Two music pieces from the exact same film. And then I swung out of left field and said Like a Bird from Sing Sing. You were correct. It was El Mal from Amelia Perez.
I was right.
Yes, you were correct.
Oh, my. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Let this be known.
He was correct one time.
Oh, right.
Just kidding. I love you. So Best Picture. I believe we voted on this one. But there were a couple of instances where there were categories that we did not vote on that I have the answer on here, and so we'll go through that later. But for Best Picture, I believe we said it was in between The Brutalist or Dune Part 2.
Again, I said Dune Part 2 for sure.
Yeah, and so I said The Brutalist because it won, I believe, something along the lines of a Best Picture award at the previous award show. And then, so what actually ended up winning Best Picture, however, was Anora.
I don't know how to feel.
I'm not mad. Like I said, Anora had a lot of nominations, and it kind of just came in and swept the Oscars last Sunday.
They did.
And then, so the next category we can talk about that we voted on was production design. We were like, Wicked has to sing production design.
Literally has to.
Like, it's so gorgeous. And it did. Wicked won production design for the Oscar.
Okay.
And then the next thing for sound, we really wanted Wicked to win again because it's a musical. It's got gorgeous sound all around, but unfortunately, it was not meant to be. Dune Part 2 took the sound
Which
Oscar.
also I'm not mad about for Dune Part 2 for
not
sound.
Either. Yeah, because the sound, the type of music and like the background sound was very dystopian. It really fit the vibe
It
very
really did.
well.
Yeah.
And then, so the last one that we voted on, we said visual effects.
Yep.
I believe our vote was Dune Part 2.
Yes.
And Dune Part 2 went for visual effects.
So I was right.
Yes.
2 for 2.
Yes.
Okay.
And so the last couple of categories that we discussed, that we didn't discuss because we didn't see them. To be so for real.
Yeah.
And so for film editing, Honora also won the Oscar for that. And funnily enough, the director who took the award for Honora also did editing, and so he basically accepted both of those awards, I believe.
Wow.
On behalf of Honora.
Yeah.
And then the last couple is a live action short film. We didn't see any of those either.
Did not. Nope.
But I'm Not a Robot won.
Do you know anything about that?
No.
Me either.
But that's okay. We can go look at it
You know,
later.
congrats, kudos.
Yeah,
for sure.
congrats for sure. And then earlier in the night, these two categories kind of determine essentially the race for Best Picture. But writing, adapted screenplay went to
Mm.
Conclave.
Was this their only award they won?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
And then for writing original screenplay, that went to Nora.
Swept.
And yeah, so I believe out of all of the nominations that Anora got, they succeeded in winning 5 of them, which is pretty phenomenal for a film that had basically, I believe it was like 3% or less of the budget of Dune Part 2.
Now that's a little crazy.
Yeah, and they won more awards. So it's really kind of like, I feel like showing a shift in the industry. It's
Yeah.
like, does your film need to have these like big names,
budget. Yeah.
big budget, or does the storytelling of the film really take it home for the viewers and for the Academy?
I guess also takes into play like how relatable is the story too.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Nora, but I mean, how relatable is Dune Part 2 though?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me some sci-fi dystopia.
Yeah.
I love a good sci-fi dystopian book. The Hunger Games, one of my
Ooh.
favorite book series. So I mean, I loved the film, but it's not entirely relatable
Yeah.
to the mass. So I feel like having a film that could be more realistic to somebody's actual experience definitely hits home and really highlights universality and the importance of it when it comes to a film winning these big award shows, for sure.
And I'm not mad about it, actually.
I'm not mad either.
You know what? Kudos for them. Kudos for Nora. Although, am I a little biased? I wanted Wicked maybe to win a little bit more awards.
Oh, for sure. Definitely wanted Wicked to win a lot more of those music awards.
At least music.
Yes, like original score or original song or sound.
But you know, costume though.
Costume design, we did get.
I'm fine with that. At least we won something.
They got costume design and we got production design. So
I'm satisfied with
it
that.
is what it is. So, moving on.
Gianna, in the news recently, I've heard Millie Bobby Brown is saying to journalists are bullying her.
Oh.
In a recent post that she made on her Instagram, a 3-minute long post, she goes on a rant calling out journalists and their headlines of the articles that they wrote, and they're calling out their names of the journalists too.
Oh my gosh.
Saying they're creating headlines commenting on her appearance.
Oh, I think I've seen a little bit about this because especially with her red carpet look, she was sporting a gorgeous dress, by the way.
Yeah.
But the way that I saw several comments, like the way that she was dressed and her makeup styling was more for an older woman. And so a lot of people were basically commenting on the fact that she looked a lot older than she is.
Yes, a lot of people were saying she's acting more mature and she's dressing more mature than her age. And so for her red carpet, the whole reason why she's on red carpet, she's on tour promoting a recent movie that she's involved in, The Electric State. And so she's also making an appearance at red carpets and award shows. But because of this, when people think of Millie Bobby Brown, what is the first thing that you associate with her?
For sure, Stranger Things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. So many people associate her with Stranger Things in season 1. And so they perceive like this image of her of like 11 being like short hair, dressing like a kid and stuff like that. So when people see her starting to like grow out of that shell and mature, all of a sudden it's a red flag. People are commenting on her appearance, on her looks, on her body and style. And most of these people, or some of these people, are written by women too.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So what happened to women supporting women?
Well, I think that's partially just that kind of like internalized misogyny. So I mean, for an example, The Substance, the entire premise of that movie is the fact that in Hollywood, in these like forms of the limelight, you are expected to never age. You can't grow old. You can't show any form of weakness. You can't do anything that would make you look less than as a woman. Yeah. And so essentially they're doing it in real life because we don't have a substance that will essentially turn you into your 20-year-old self. Yeah. And like make it so that you're young and beautiful again and societally acceptable. And the awful thing about it is that I believe Millie Bobby Brown just recently turned 21 or 22. Yeah. She is the same age as me.
She's in the same age range as me too.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
And so it's like she's done so much with her career and her life.
acting career?
She's grown so much as an actress. And I completely can see why a lot of the articles that are talking about her appearance and all of these things that are written by women are probably coming from a place where they feel like they have to comment on it.
Yeah. And it's a little crazy because when men grow up and age, oh, applause. Congrats on them for looking good as they age. The age is fine wine. But when women age,
Yeah, and it's also only if it's like if they look good.
that
Like
too.
if a man ages and they happen to gain weight or their face shape changes
Yeah.
or something like that, or if you were previously like a Hollywood like a star, like a
Yeah.
hot shot in the
Yeah.
industry, and then something happens to you, you're like it seems as if you're like just falling out. Like for an example, one that I can think of is the actor that plays Troy Bolton in High School Musical.
Okay. Okay, hot take. I haven't seen my High School Musical in a while.
You haven't seen High School Musical? Have you seen The Greatest Showman?
Yes. Okay, I've seen The Greatest Showman.
Okay. Yeah, so him.
Okay.
Zac Efron. So basically, when he like a couple years ago, he's been known as a Hollywood heartthrob for years. He's been in this industry for a while. And not for nothing, because he is very attractive. But what happened is a couple of years ago, I believe he had an accident. He fell and he did something and he basically shattered his jaw.
Oh.
And so he had to have jaw surgery, and it changed the shape of his face.
Zac Efron.
And so now Zac Efron has a lot more of like a squarer jaw than he did previously. And so like this the way that he looks has aged him as he's grown older, but also like it just completely changes the way that like people think of him. And so everybody thought that he basically just had a botched surgery and essentially made fun of him.
I do see it now.
And so like if you see before pictures and after pictures, his jaw has been significantly widened, but it's because he shattered his jaw. And so people are basically like, oh, well, he fell off. And it's like,
he's more than just his looks.
Yeah, he's more than just his looks. He's a talented actor. Exactly. And so it's like that kind of, again, that double-edged sword of like you can be accepted into the society of Hollywood, but only if you adhere to the expectations that Hollywood has for you.
Yep.
And like the same thing could also be said for not Kieran Culkin, Macaulay Culkin. Like when he was younger, he had that kind of like that boyish look. And then like basically people were like, oh, he fell off. He got less attractive as he grew older. And then also another example, Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan, because she had some issues because of her experiences in the limelight, where basically she had some abuse problems, and she took a step away from acting, and it also changed the way her face looks. And she also got allegedly, I believe, some work done. But she's doing a lot better now if you see pictures of her now. But basically people were just continuously dragging her for her trying to do better about herself. And she's been in some things recently, and she does look different than what you've seen in Freaky Friday or Mean Girls or The Parent Trap, but it's still the same Lindsay Lohan. And so
still the same actor.
So I do definitely see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, and especially at such a young age. I believe Millie started acting when she was 10 years old. So she's been in the game for at least a decade.
Yes, yeah. So she's been here for a while, and she's definitely like establishing herself as a growing actress.
Let me see.
And obviously, as she's grown older, she's taken on more mature roles because she's maturing. You can't expect an actress to stay in the same roles that she started in as a 10 and 12-year-old.
It reminds me of like some Disney shows when they have like these 30-year-olds, late 20-year-olds playing like a teen role. It's like at that point, can you just get a new cast or just let them move on, be the parent at least or something?
Yeah, like Hannah Montana, the brother, the
That
older
one.
brother, he was like in his 30s, and he's supposed to be portraying like a 17-year
Yeah, like a
old.
high schooler. It's like, no.
Yeah. And so it's like it's this that also goes back again to Hollywood's expectation for young children as well as just the actors that they hire. It's just the simple fact that they expect them to look a certain way. Because you'll have, I
Yeah.
know as I was growing up, I'd be like, oh, well, I don't understand why I don't look like her.
Hmm.
As a girl, like, and it's because this girl that I'm looking at on the screen isn't a girl. She's 27.
Yeah.
Like, so
Who are they
it's
fooling?
just, yeah, it just has like a gives unrealistic expectations for these little girls that are watching these shows and like seeing these people that they look up to or that they kind of want to be like, and they're not understanding why they aren't at the
Yeah.
same place at their age because they're not their age.
Especially as a little kid, you don't know better. You think, oh my God, they're playing high school or middle school. Like,
Exactly,
that's going to be me
yeah.
when I'm like 14, 15, middle school.
Yeah, and then
Real time, they're like 20.
yes,
It's
yeah. And
like,
so they're
wow.
just leaps and bounds ahead of you
Yeah.
because they're leaps and bounds older than you. So,
Yeah. There was one quote that Millie said in her video. She
mhm.
said, "This isn't journalism. This is bullying. The fact that adult writers are spending their time dissecting my face, body, my choices, it's disturbing."
Yeah. I mean, she's
She
not wrong.
she clocked it.
Yeah, absolutely. T has been clocked.
It really is clocked. And I was thinking, as a journalist, don't you have better things to do just to report on her face, her
Yeah, no,
body?
absolutely. Because I mean, as a journalist, I know that I have better things to do than
Would you
report on like an actress's physical appearance. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you're reporting stories. You
mhm,
like a lot of the journalism that focuses on these really nitpicky things, or even goes further into even bullying people in the
yeah.
industry, are mostly tabloids.
Oh,
And so they're mostly like just trying to get the story out. And so they're not focusing on the actual story behind the person.
that is so true. I feel like nowadays is like, what would get more clicks? What's getting more views?
Exactly,
Boost the
yeah.
page views. I feel like a lot of these like journalists, they make their money by page views. So if they make something, produce
Hmm.
something that will get clicks, at the end of the day, it's more money for them.
Yeah, it's where we are with the journalistic industry where we have in some instances decided that the amount of stories that we put out, the amount of clicks that
Yeah.
story gets is more important than the actual content of that story.
Yes.
And that's who's reporting on these people. And so that's part of what honestly got me into journalism is just the opportunity to like go and talk to people and hear their stories and tell their stories. So I
Hmm.
can't even imagine going into a role where I'm essentially bringing a woman down.
Yeah. So overall,
Hmm.
these journalists are mad that Millie Bobby Brown is mature. She's growing up. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day,
Absolutely, yeah. There's
when you want
nothing
to
wrong.
stay young forever, it's not like a magical pill she can just take and be like, oh, let
Yeah.
me just stay 11 for my entire life.
Exactly, yeah. And it's especially if you grow up in the limelight like a lot of these young actors do. Um we're watching them go through these changes. We're watching them grow up very, very
Yeah.
publicly, and they are not allowed to make mistakes. They're not allowed to make mistakes in public because if they do, then they're terrible. Like it's this double-edged sword again. Like
Yeah.
I know I've made mistakes when I was 14 and 15 or even 20, and like I wouldn't want that televised or reported
Yeah.
on. And it's just we have this unnecessary expectation that these people that are in the limelight that are a part of the entertainment industry are supposed to be perfect all of the time. And it's unattainable. And
It's not even human.
it's not human, exactly. And
It's not
that's,
human.
again, the whole plot of The Substance. So, I mean,
Yeah.
like, if you want to see it, like, fictionalized, go ahead and watch that movie. But if you want to see it play out in real life,
With the real humans.
just go look at literally any woman in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Any one of them.
Literally. Okay, so my last question for you is, what is your opinion on child actors wanting to branch out from a genre their careers were built off of?
So I honestly personally have no issue with it.
Right.
The only problem that I could definitely see is the desire to have such a intense shift.
Yeah.
Because I know that for a couple of actors, the most prominent example I probably could pull from is Miley Cyrus.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Because she went from that good girl Disney Channel star like look as a child actor, a child actress, and she basically 180'd. She cut her hair super short. She began doing a lot of really like sultry and like almost sexual like content, and there's nothing wrong with that as an artist if that's where you're choosing to do it from. But the sudden shift made it seem too abrupt. Like she was struggling to essentially break out of that mold, and in an attempt to do so, essentially derailed her career a little bit. And so like she got put on the back burner because everybody was like, oh, this is too extreme. This is too much. And I feel like it's really important to kind of do baby steps if you're trying to get out of that like that mold that you've been put in as a child actress. And I feel like a good example of two actresses that I believe do that pretty well would be Sabrina Carpenter. She's done a pretty good job about that. And so because she again was a Disney Channel star. She was in Girl Meets World. And a couple of other things. And then she basically branched out into her musical career. And she's become essentially a certified pop princess. Have you seen those memes where it's like the Powerpuff Girls? And it's like Sabrina is Bubbles. And I think it's Charlie XCX is the redhead. And then the green one is Billie Eilish.
I feel like I've seen something similar.
Yeah,
like that.
So it's like those are kind of fun too as well. And then but Sabrina Carpenter basically built again that musical career, and then she also branched out into a lot of different acting roles.
Really?
Yeah, and so I do know that she was in I think it's Tall Girl on Netflix.
Oh.
Yeah, so she is the younger sister, or not, sorry, the older sister, who like basically kind of helps her sister who is taller than her kind of make her way through life.
That is right. I do remember seeing this movie when it came out.
Yeah, and so she's in those, and so that's again more of a mature role, but still kind of along the same lines as what she was familiar with as an actress. And then as she again continued to do that, she was also in Adventures in Babysitting. She was in The Hate U Give. And then she's also been on Broadway. And so it's like there's just a lot of different things that she's done, but she's done it in a way that's, I guess, a little bit slower. If you look at Sabrina Carpenter now, a lot of her work is more along the sultry line. She's got a lot of songs that embrace her femininity and the things that come with that.
Yeah.
And some people will say that that's too much, but it's not too much too fast. This is just where she's most comfortable now.
Yes, and I feel like for Sabrina Carpenter, she didn't have like that sudden change. I feel like over this her transition from like acting to music was low-key subtle, and I like that.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other really, really good example of that is my girl Zendaya.
That is so true.
She is a phenomenal actress.
Even to this day, she still is.
She is a phenomenal actress, but she began her career mostly in Shake It Up.
Oh, I love that show.
As Rocky Blue.
Yeah.
And so she was that, and then she became the title character in Casey Undercover.
Yes.
As Casey.
Yeah.
And then basically she recently, essentially, I believe, made her feature film debut with Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yes.
And so, but ever since then, she's been just going. Like, she's just been working extremely hard in doing a lot of gorgeous work. She was also in The Greatest Showman. Shout out, I guess, to Zac Efron.
Euphoria?
Yeah, Euphoria. She produced and directed that one as well, I believe.
She produced and directed it?
I believe so. But she also starred in it. Let me double check. But regardless, she, again, did that shift from, like, Disney Channel work to, you know, being an adult actor and producer and working in the industry, but in a way that wasn't so abrupt that it made it shocking to the viewers to be reintroduced to this person.
Yeah.
Because, like Millie Bobby Brown was saying, you are growing up in front of these people. And so you have to essentially make room for these people to be introduced to you And then if you want to shift and change, you have to essentially do it slowly, even if you want that change sooner.
Yeah. But for Millie, I feel like her changes slowly, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, I know. And so it's just people expect different things.
I guess they want it even more slower. Like, how slow can it be?
And honestly, that's unreasonable for a lot of people. Also, I'm not actually saying that she directed anything, so I might be incorrect on Zendaya.
Fake news. Sorry, guys.
I could have swore I saw something about her producing an episode, but I might be wrong on
I feel like I've seen that too, but
irregardless, I think it's again
she's a well-rounded actor.
Yeah, well-rounded actress. She's doing amazing. And her relationship with Tom Holland is quite frankly one of my favorite relationships.
Really?
In Hollywood.
Okay.
I like them a lot together.
Okay.
He's a short queen.
That's why I was like, okay.
He's a short king with this tall queen, and I respect it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, anything else for that from you?
I just feel like at the end of the day, people are gonna grow up. If you like it, yay. If you don't, there's other people you can report on. There's other actresses you can go and write a story about. Why would you want to write a negative story on someone who is probably making more money than you ever will?
Oh, for sure.
Literally. And all these shows. And even then, there's still going to be another season of Stranger Things. So I just feel like as more seasons go on, this is only going to get worse for her. And I kind of feel bad. Yeah. There's literally nothing she can do.
I mean, the only thing she really can do is continue to defend herself and be very vocal about it in the public eye.
But even then, you think that's common sense.
Why would you have to? But common sense is not common.
I guess that is true. Common sense is not common.
And also, I was correct on Zendaya producing Euphoria. She did become an executive producer of Euphoria, I believe, in 2022. So I'm slightly redeemed on
not necessarily fake news, but
alleged fake news. Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on. We're gonna introduce a new segment for y'all, and it's just Gianna's 3 for 3 corner. It's where I'm gonna basically suggest 3 new things for y'all to look at, and they're most likely gonna be other forms of media. And so the first one, I mentioned this earlier. I love the Hunger Games, and the book that's coming out, I believe on March 18th, or roundabout, within the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. It is the second prequel for the original trilogy. And so basically a brief synopsis is that this is the story of Haymitch, which is a character that we are introduced to in the first books. And it is his Hunger Games. So basically
wait, pause. He was a player in the Hunger Games?
Yeah, that's the whole premise for some of these people, like the people that are training these guys in the Hunger Games, is that they're the victors.
So they really said, I played this game before.
Exactly. And so basically he was in the 50th annual Hunger Games. And he was from District 12.
Wait.
And so Haymitch basically doesn't really care about the games. He doesn't want to be in the games because they're terrifying. But basically his name is called and he has to go. And so basically that's the thing. That's what we're talking about. This is one of the deadliest arenas in the history of the Hunger Games. And it's Haymitch's story in Sunrise on the Reaping.
Wait, so what is the female, like the queen, who calls the names when she pulls the bowl?
Effie?
So she was also a player too?
No, I don't think so. Effie's a part of the aristocrats, like the aristocracy. And so
I was about to say,
Effie
if she played.
Yeah, no, I don't think. Yeah, no, she's an escort for the District 12 tributes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Effie could handle it. I'm gonna be so honest.
I was like, unless she girl boss the whole way.
She did not girl boss that.
How did she make it?
Yeah, no. So I don't believe that she was a part of the games in the sense of fighting because she's a part of the first district elite. So she
Okay.
definitely probably wouldn't be a part of that at all.
She's a founding father.
And so that's my first recommendation. And then for my next one, I've got a TV show for y'all. So this one doesn't come out for a while, so I'm sorry. But Eyes of Wakanda, it's a mini series on Disney Plus. So the series is gonna share the MCU film continuity that we were talking about last week, about how like the films will introduce something and then the TV shows will continue it, or the TV shows will introduce something and then the movies will continue it. So they're basically along those same lines. And so it's going to follow a band of Wakandan warriors. I'm going to butcher this pronunciation. Please don't cancel me, y'all. The Hatut-Zarazi. And so basically they carry out dangerous missions throughout history. So they're kind of like the Wakandan Secret Service a little bit, which is so cool. And so it's expected to be the 15th television series in the MCU. And it's supposed to premiere on August 6th. So y'all gotta wait a while. I know, I'm sorry. And so the first 4 episodes should premiere on August 6th, and it's going to be the first series of Phase 6 in the MCU. So
were we just talking about Phase 5?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So the end of Phase 5 is this year, and the beginning of Phase 6 starts with series like Eyes of Wakanda.
How many phases can they go through, Gianna? How many phases do you think they're going to go with?
How many comic books do you think there are?
Probably 1,000. Okay,
Exactly.
150. No?
150 Marvel comic books?
There's more. There's thousands.
There's a lot more than 150.
Gosh.
I'm sorry.
So they're going to make all these comic books a movie and a show?
Well, no, because they all have different timelines. So this one is a part of the Supreme timeline. So basically, this is like the main one, the main arc.
Yeah.
But there's all of these different branches, and so basically, you can't do a TV show or movie for all of them. But they have a lot of material to work with. I mean, the Marvel began in like the 1900s.
I mean,
so
I would believe it.
So basically, they began like the Marvel era began in August 1961 with the launch of the Fantastic Four.
Wow, the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, they
was
started
the OGs.
with the Fantastic Four. However, like the concept of the Marvel characters really started in 1939 as a different name, as Timely Comics. So basically, this has been going on since almost a century. So it's like,
that's crazy.
They have a lot of content to work with, so they definitely have more than 150 comic
You know what
books.
I need someone to do? Someone who has someone who has like a lot of free time on their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Compile all these shows, all the side shows, then the movies, to make one big, super long video so I can watch.
Video?
Yeah, like a movie. From all the shows.
They can't do that.
It's probably gonna be years long, but at least I won't have to like click, go watch another one.
It's gonna
all
be
in
yeah,
one.
that's actually crazy. Because I mean, even just like the main like MCU films are literally like 2-3 hours long minimum. So you've got like weeks worth of content in one video.
That would be perfect though. I won't have to like click and
You'd
scroll.
have to be like part 1 through 10 of the MCU cinematic universe. But yeah, so that's my second, my 2 of 3. And then my 3 for 3, my last one is a movie I think y'all should go watch. This one is at least a little bit sooner. So my suggestion for y'all is Mickey 17. And so that one is supposed to release on March 7th, which is in 2 days.
I was about to say, wait.
2 days from today.
On Friday.
As we are recording this. And so basically it's based off of a 2022 book called Mickey 7 by Ashton Edward. And so basically the premise of the film is that an employee who is played by Robert Pattinson is disposable. And he's essentially sent to a human expedition to colonize the ice world of Niflheim, which is a callback to Norse mythology, I believe, of the ice planet, which is, you can actually see that a little bit in the MCU, but that's irregardless. And so basically, after one iteration of Mickey dies, a new body is regenerated with most of his memories intact.
Oh.
So basically, everything is going fine. They're finding all of these things wrong, and then basically, when he dies, they just revive him with a
Mm-hmm.
basically like a clone or a copy of him. And that is until we get, at least in the movie, to Mickey 17 going to work and then coming home to Mickey 18. And so these clones can't coexist or co-interact
Yeah.
because they're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically one of them has to die in order for the other one to live. And so basically it's the story of that interaction and also how both of them want to live. Some people are saying this like a crappy version of the movie Snowpiercer. But I haven't seen Snowpiercer.
I'm not seen it
It's a
either.
2013 film. And so basically it's another kind of like post-apocalyptic action thriller.
Yeah.
In the same way that the Mickey 17 is. And so this one stars Chris Evans.
Ooh.
And so basically the basic premise of that is that survivors of Earth's second ice age live out their days on a luxury train that plows through snow and ice. Wait, I've seen this movie. Okay, pause. So
lying
I
to us.
forgot. I'm gonna be so honest.
So you just lie all the time?
No, I just forgot. I promise. And so basically, the train's poorest residents live in a squalid caboose, and then basically they will like want to improve their conditions by taking over the engine room. So essentially, it's kind of like a visual representation of like the class system.
Yeah.
And so basically, like the richest are literally in the front, and then the poorest are in the back.
Okay.
And then similar in a way to I think the movie's called Levels or something like that, where like the lowest tier, like there's like a top tier and like it gets all of like this food and stuff, and then as it goes down, all of these levels are like getting the food, and then at the very bottom there's basically nothing left, and so like the people at the bottom are like essentially like dying and whatnot, and so that's a different movie. But basically that's kind of similar to how the effect on the train was for the people in Snowpiercer. But I feel like this movie has the potential to be more than that, so I think we should just wait and see, essentially, as to how Mickey 17 really boils down. But yeah, so that's my 3 for 3.
Wow.
I hope that y'all enjoyed my recommendations.
I'm actually interested in the book one, Loki.
Yeah,
The Hunger Games
you
one.
want to go? Have you read the first 4 books?
I've read a couple.
Oh,
But
which means you've read none of them.
I've seen the movies.
Oh, Aiden.
No.
It's okay. We'll get you an audiobook.
Do you think they can make this a movie though? Maybe not like anytime soon, but eventually.
Possibly. They made this Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes into a movie. So, I mean, they might. Who knows? And Haymitch is a very popular character.
Yeah. Are the Hunger Games series like running out of movie ideas?
Well, there's only 4 books, and they made 4 movies.
So I think they will make it.
So, or not 4 movies, or maybe it is 4 movies. I can't remember. Because I know they split Mockingjay in a weird way.
Yeah, they did actually.
So it might be more movies than there are books, but regardless.
Yeah.
We'll catch you up. We will catch you up.
I know the main gist.
Yeah.
Do I need to know all the details?
They're kind of important, but that's
Okay.
okay. Well, moving on.
Now it's my favorite time of the day, y'all. Aiden's tea time.
And
Okay, so
it's pretty hot, right?
if you, yes, this is really hot actually, but this is lore only social media girls will understand.
Which I am not. So
Oh.
let's buckle in.
Okay,
I'm ready.
I'm gonna try to like dumb it down as possible so you can know all the details.
Dumb it down.
Well, like just lay everything down.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the girls are fighting. Trisha Paytas is once again making headline news.
Oh boy.
But this time she's getting better. You know, she's not in her 2020 era when she was crashing out, constantly producing all of these videos on YouTube. When she was producing like 20 videos in one day, just back to back, wouldn't
20
edit.
videos.
She will set her MacBook down, record a video reacting to someone.
Oh my gosh.
Stop the video without editing, of course. Come up with the first thing that comes to mind as the title. Upload it straight to YouTube. When I tell you she's producing like 10 to 20 videos a day back in her 2020 era.
Isn't there like an upload limit?
She had multiple accounts. She was in her bag.
Oh my gosh.
She for sure was probably getting paid though. At the end of the day, she probably was getting paid. But yeah, so how it all started. Okay, so Tana Mojo has her own podcast. It's called Cancelled.
Okay.
It's a podcast with her, Paige, and Brooke. Brooke is her co-host. Paige is like one of the behind the scenes person, but who's also like involved in the podcast as a guest every now and then. She went on Trisha's podcast and started explaining how she was treated during the Escape the Night by Joey Graceffa. Okay, so Escape the Night is a show. It started as a show on YouTube, just like a series, mini series. There's like 4 seasons. But eventually, I guess it got so popular, they decided to make a movie on it.
Oh, wow.
I haven't seen the movie. It's not like on AMC type of movie. It's probably like a movie on YouTube or something. But anyways, Tana was explaining how she was treated during the movie. So, buckle in. This is a lot.
Okay, I'm here. I'm ready.
So I'll give you like a little gist on what the Escape the Night is. It's pretty much a show where Joey Graceffa invited all of these upcoming YouTubers. This was like back in like 2017, 2018 when YouTube was low-key a big deal. Now it's not that big of a deal now, but back then all these like high-end YouTubers were making content from like family vloggers to like people who react. Justine, who shows like iPhone products, she was there and stuff.
Yeah.
Those upcoming YouTubers. It's about a show like people gotta escape the night without like trying to die, blah blah blah. It's like a murder mystery kind of.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now because they also so it was a web series, but then it was like I guess like uploaded as a TV show in like 2016.
They tried to, but you can watch it for free on YouTube. So
yeah.
That's why like I knew it because I didn't want to pay for anything. But yeah, so in the movie, supposedly Tana Mojo was asked to be chained to a ceiling with a man in a horror mask in the room, just them two. And the thing is, the man with the mask, that he could look at her, but she cannot look at him because there's a mask. It's not. It's like see-through, but not for him. Not for her.
Horror mask?
A horror mask, like a murder, like a Party City mask.
like a
like a Party City mask,
like a rubber mask,
something like that.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
So as Tana is getting tied up, he looks at her in the eyes and says, "This is my dream, having you tied up in a room with just them two."
Ew.
How uncomfortable would you be?
Ew.
Exactly. So,
oh my god.
If someone said that to me, looked at me dead in the eyes, I can't see what you look like. Who knows? And they're still anonymous to this day.
What?
Yes. Keep in mind, this happened a couple years ago.
Oh my god.
They're just rehashing it out.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So this person looks at her and says, "This is my dream to have you tied up." Ooh.
Ew. Chills.
Literally. So Tana went on the Just Rich podcast and talked about her experience on it. Just about like how she was treated and stuff like that, how she was verbally assaulted, period.
Wow.
As you should. Don't stay silent on this type of stuff, especially. Yeah. And a lot of people, that's the thing when it comes to Tana Mojo, people can say like she was problematic back in her days and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
But now, it's been time. She's matured for sure.
Yeah.
She's sober now.
Oh, that's good.
So she no longer drinks. She doesn't like do any like bad influence anymore. She has a husband or she's engaged. I can't, one or the other. But she's been with this man for a while. So she goes on the Trish podcast. She's talking about her feelings and how she was treated. And then later that same day, Trish was recording 2 podcasts that same day. She had Tana, and then later on she had Joey on the same day podcast, but 2 different episodes. She's like just
back to back. Yeah.
Joey was like, "Oh, I found out. I'm sorry how Tana was treated. Blah blah blah." And Joey sent Tana flowers and apologizing, saying, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know all of this." Period. It could have just ended there. Everything was cool, calm, and collected. She accepted the apology. But no. Someone else from the show decided, who was not even involved, decided to comment on this.
Oh, boy.
So now you have the famous YouTuber, Rosanna Pansino.
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
You don't know who she is?
No.
Okay, so Rosanna Pansino was, in fact, a nice YouTuber who was like specialized in baking content on YouTube back from like 2015 to like.
Okay.
Yeah, so she did like baking cupcakes, cakes, reviews, like family friendly content on YouTube.
Oh wait, I think I actually might know who this is.
Yeah, she was she has her show Nerdy Nummies on YouTube.
Oh yes, yeah. Okay, I know who this is now.
Yeah, it's like her face is more like.
I'm so much better with faces than I am with names.
That is so true.
Yeah,
I am looking the same way.
Yeah, I know who this is. Continue.
Yes, but so she got involved. The same during the episode that Trish and Tana were talking about. They were talking about her experience there because Rosanna Pansino was also in the show.
Oh wow, yeah.
It was like a lot of YouTubers, but Tana was just like low-key, borderline talking about someone, but they didn't say a name. They bleeped the name, and they were saying how one person smoked their father's ashes, and it was also in the show. So people put 2 and 2 together. if you watch one of Rosanna's videos on YouTube, her father's dying wish was to be cremated, rolled up, and smoked.
That's actually crazy.
She took one hit. I did see the video. She took one hit. So I guess he could be with her forever.
What?
I don't know if it works like that.
That's definitely not how that works. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I guess they were talking about how someone wanted to smoke their father's ashes. And so when people realized who it was, people started like commenting on Rosanna's post, like, oh, these people are talking about you, blah, blah, blah. This whole time, Rosanna's on vacation, living her best life.
So she's not even like aware of any of this.
She's not aware of this.
Oh my gosh.
Until 2 days ago. She made a breaking news emergency podcast on vacation.
Gosh.
She has a podcast already, but you know how's a professional at her house. She's not at home, obviously, so she got her computer and a couple of like lights and mics. Because why would you have that when you're on vacation? Crickets, exactly. I don't know. That's one thing I'm a little suspicious.
Well, I mean, I feel like as a content creator, like you kind of have to be prepared all the time. So that's not super suspicious for me.
But if you're on vacation,
I mean, even so, because you got to do vacation content, no?
Oh, I guess that is true.
Yeah, you gotta make sure that you got your stuff so that you can actually go create content.
Making money while
making money while you're relaxing. Exactly.
Actually, okay, that makes so much sense. Okay, yeah, okay, I take that back. But I mean, no, I don't know. The setup was crazy. But yeah, so she made an emergency podcast while on vacation, saying that Tana, while on the show on the set, was the person who had the shortest amount of playtime.
Okay.
It was a 2-day filming. She was only there for 1 day. Not even that. She was there for half the day.
Oh, wow.
And supposedly Tana said that she was the one who complained the most, was moody all day, unprofessional.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so her husband, Rosanna's husband, who was on set but was like on set, just on the side watching, was not involved like in the movie at all, was agreeing with Rosanna about everything.
Oh.
The only thing is though, if you're in another room, how are you like seeing what's happening in front of the camera, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't think the behind the scenes people could be right here while you're like creating and acting in a show.
I mean, well, like from what I understand in the industry, like you've got like your set and then also you've got everybody that's like a part of like kind of like the background information and like the production side of things, essentially on the outskirts of said thing.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but that's in a professional setting. These are YouTubers. It's not that professional.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, a lot of these people that are getting their start in YouTube do kind of have that more along the lines of like professional setup for some things. But I mean, so I guess that's a possibility. Or they just straight up just had everybody in the same room.
That could also be it.
That could also be a possibility. So I mean, he could have seen behavior, or he's just backing up his wife.
Yeah. Boy, it gets better.
Oh boy, it gets better.
It gets better.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Supposedly they said both the husband and Rosanna said that Tana was lying and exaggerating because they saw from a distance and were not on set. That they confirmed they admitted to not being there and not seeing it, but they're just gonna go with the fact that it's Tana and how her past, that she's like always a liar and stuff.
Oh my gosh! This is fake. Wow. Yeah.
So they're victim blaming Tana in 2025, which is a little crazy. So
yeah, when something that happened, what, 9 years ago?
Back in 2018. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So in the following episode, Trish saw that, and people tagged Trish, of course, because Tana and Trish go back to back. They're like best buddies, like the best friendship you'll ever have. They're so cute together. Okay. Because they both come from a rocky background. If you know, you know. But they both come from a rocky background. So for the fact that both of them got together and are like it's like a mother and daughter duo. Okay. Oh, I love it so much. But yeah, so Trish comes on her podcast and reacts to Rosanna's clip and basically just starts saying all this stuff. She's borderline spiraling, Trisha, only because of her like past. Because how she's always like handled situations and stuff. So I guess this is the only way she knows how to handle stuff is kind of like spiral. But this time she's more matured. She's aged. She's married. She has a kid. So she's grown up for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So she's not like posting all these videos, you know, without like a script or anything. She's
not mass producing videos.
She's not mass producing.
Posting them all on the same day for multiple accounts.
Literally. So now she's like so mature. If you saw Trish from 2020 to now, she like sat down, she thought about it. She was like, should I make a video on this? Should I even address it?
Yeah.
The fact that she thought about not addressing it, she's already
That's
maturing
growth.
right there.
Yeah.
That is so much growth. But yes. So at the end of the day, Trish had to cut off their friendship because she picked Tano over Rosanna.
Oh, wow.
Which honestly, and she said their friendship, Rosanna and Trish's friendship, is more of a friendship behind the cameras. They're not like an on-camera, let's record, let's, how some YouTubers do like video for video.
Yeah.
Instead of like exchanging like content, the friendship is behind the cameras.
Yeah, like they're actually friends.
They're actually friends. And so for
that's
her,
awful.
the thing is, they both have kids. And so when they have like cookouts and play dates and even birthday parties, they would invite each other to each other's houses, and they would come and spend time.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So like that's like a straight up just in general friendship.
It's a whole friendship for years too.
Yeah.
That just got destroyed for literally nothing.
Yeah.
So
that's awful.
It was Trish started. She was reflecting, and at the end of the video, she did shed a couple tears because she even said she got triggered, and I want to say I know for sure she got war flashbacks from 2020 when she was involved with all this drama.
Yeah, because I mean, it's basically being brought up again. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there are certain characters in that whole Dramageddon thing that aren't exactly like perfect victims or perfect heroes and whatnot. But I mean, at the end of the day, these are real people, and they're being affected by, again, our perception of them as entertainment.
Yeah.
So it really comes back to the beginning thing when we were talking about with Millie, like just the whole fact that like we're basically seeing these people make mistakes very publicly, and we're not allowing them to basically grow from those mistakes.
For sure not. We're sitting on the couch eating popcorn.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the same thing with like people that like, I mean, you should do this in general, but people posting like problematic things in 2012 and then it being brought up in 2024.
Yeah.
Like
what, 2025?
Or, well, I know, but I was just giving an option of 12 years. But 13 isn't any better. So,
it's really not.
But, like, it's just we're not allowing these people that maybe have said something in a way that they believed at one point years ago, almost more than a decade ago, or almost a decade in this case. And then basically bringing it back up and expecting them to react the same or be the same. When people grow. Exactly.
People mature. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like a lot of these people, too, were young in their career and didn't have kids. They had no responsibilities. Yeah. Now these same people have their life together, have a career, and have kids. Yeah. They have more to lose now than what they did a long time ago. And I feel like they finally realized that. But at the end of the day, my only complaint is, why did Rosanna have to come out the shadow and talk about this? I don't know if you know this, but she was the same person who exposed the Beast games. Do you remember this?
No. What is this with Mr. Beast, though, right?
Beast, yes. Yeah. So supposedly his Beast games, Rosanna was top 3, but the way that Mr. Beast edited the film, the series, she was placed 7th place and was treated so badly. So that was one thing. And so it's now all of a sudden from like this cute baker who does like wholesome content for families.
Okay, yeah.
Is now doing like a 180 and doing like exposing people series.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a straight up shift.
And so what people were complaining about is like, she's low-key falling out. And I feel like, and I agree with some of these people, she's trying to find content to make herself stay relevant again. There's only so many videos that you can watch from 2012 to like 2016, 2017 of her baking. At this point, Miss Ma'am baked everything under the sun. What more can you bake?
She's been baked.
She's been baked. She baked her father. Oh, but
no.
But
don't say that.
It was on YouTube. She posted the video on YouTube, and it's public.
That's actually crazy.
And then someone was like, "Is this cannibal?" And I was like, "It's technically not."
I don't think it's cannibalism. No,
but
did not think I'd be talking about the possibility of cannibalism on the Daily Dose.
With some of these people, you could just never know.
But yeah, no, that is very hot tea, Aiden.
Someone, oh my God. And then my favorite comment I saw, there's like a lot of like tea shows, like tea, I guess tea accounts on TikTok just posting about this. Someone commented and said, Rosanna seems like she's on a covert mean girl hiding under a cupcake personality.
Wow.
And I was like, clocked. Long story short.
Yeah.
Because she definitely gives me Mean Girl vibes, but at the end of the day, she really does have a cupcake personality.
Yeah.
She's very sweet. She's very kind. She even said she'll never talk mess. In the video that she posted, that's an hour and a half long.
Hour and a half?
Hour and a half long on vacation.
Wow.
She said, "Oh, I'm not going to bully anybody. ... But
yeah, no. Again, that's
no.
just that expectation for, again, like content and whatnot. But yeah, it's a very, very informative tea session for someone who is not as into the.
Yeah. My thing is, though, this is okay. If more people come out about this, this is going to be bigger than it really does need to be.
Yeah.
And while I always say I hate cooking, but I love stirring the pot. Some of these people love to stir the pot.
Yeah.
A lot of people, she even said, I believe Tanya even said, that there's no drama happening right now. And so when Rosanna saw that, she's like, "Oh, let me just make some drama then."
Yeah, no, that's
because
crazy.
Nowadays there's not really drama anymore, like YouTube drama, like
I mean, it's
celebrity drama.
I mean, there is, but it's mostly stuff that kind of like fizzles out in a way that's behind the camera.
Yeah.
Which I honestly, for a lot of these things, feel like that is kind of how it should be.
It definitely should be, and that's what a lot of people are saying. That Rosanna can easily just text these people, "Hey, can we talk?"
Yeah, instead of making an hour and a half long video
Instead
on
of
vacation
sitting out
in public, like making these mistakes very public when they happened in private,
literally,
rather than having a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty scalding. That's a pretty scalding edition of this tea time for you, Aiden.
I don't want this to go like escalate any longer, but
yes, yeah.
If it does, we have more to talk about.
You will have more to talk about. This is true.
Yes.
All right. Well, I do think that's all we've got for y'all today.
That is all we have for you guys.
Oh, so I guess just adios from the dose.
Yes. Adios from the dose.